A 7-layer dip without the dairy? Hey guys, I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we're making a 7-layer dip that has sour cream, it has the cheese, but it's dairy-free. So this is one of those dips that you can make during football season, for a family gathering, parties. I literally always look forward to eating this dip when I go to Texas, and this last time that we were there, we made it dairy-free and it was absolute perfection, and I was like, okay, I have to make it for the channel. So let's go ahead and move over to the stove. We're gonna get started on our first layer. So the first thing we're gonna do is start with like a medium, I would say a medium high heat, just to make sure that our oil gets nice and hot quickly. We're using a little avocado oil. So we're gonna toss in our onions now. Toss in our minced garlic. This is just fresh garlic. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and throw in our black soybeans. This is a low carb option, so I usually use them when they are available. If not, then just use your beans of choice. You can use pinto, black, whatever you typically use, you can use. Just if you want to make sure you keep it low carb, then you would want to go with a soybean. A little salt. Let's go ahead and mash. Okay, so our beans are ready. We're gonna set these aside and let's go ahead and cook our meat since we're here at the stove already. Okay, let's go ahead and toss in our ground beef. So we have our meat in. Let's go ahead and toss in our onion, minced garlic. And for the seasoning, we're going with a taco seasoning today. This is one of my favorite taco seasonings. It's super clean, and it just gives the meat such great flavor. So that's what we're going with. If you want to know which one I use, I'll leave it linked in the description below. Let's go ahead and give this a good little mix. Okay, and I'm also throwing in some red bell pepper. Look at this. Looks perfect. Guys, the smell of this is phenomenal. So our meat is all done. Our beans are done. Since we're here at the stove, I'm gonna go ahead and set this back here. We're gonna make our low carb chips because that's what we're actually gonna dip with. So we're gonna add in a little avocado oil, and we are going to fry our low carb tortilla chips. Okay, so I'm using avocado oil to fry our chips, and these are low carb tortillas that I've just cut up to make these. I'll go ahead and leave them linked in the description below if you guys wanna check them out. These are the tortillas that I use to make everything, like my chips, quesadillas, tacos. So the first 3 layers of our dip are done. Now we're moving on to our pico de gallo. We're gonna just throw everything right into our bowl. And of course, I've already diced everything just to kind of keep everything rolling. So we're gonna start off with our tomato, onion, our jalapeno for that spice. We have cilantro and our fresh squeezed lemon juice. Then just a little pinch of salt, and finish it off with a little oil and give it a good mix. And I added a little bit of the avocado oil because I feel like it just really helps with the texture and just helps also bring all the flavors together. So that's not necessary, that's just like completely optional, but I just add a little, like half a tablespoon or whatever, and I feel like it makes a difference. Our pico de gallo is done. We're gonna set this aside and whip up our guacamole. Okay, so we have 2 huge avocados. Look at that, perfect. And we're just going to get all the meat, toss it into our bowl. Now we're gonna add in our red onion, cilantro, fresh squeezed lime juice, and a pinch of salt. We're just gonna use our fork to mash everything. I like it nice and chunky, so I'm still gonna leave some bigger pieces in there, but if you want it nice and fine and super creamy, so you can use a masher or even a food processor. Okay, our guac is now done. We're gonna go ahead and assemble our 7-layer dip. So we're gonna start off with our 8x8 baking dish. You can use whatever you have, pie dish, anything that you want to serve in, because you can actually just make this and serve right away, which is what I love about this dip. We're gonna start off with a layer of meat. Look at all that flavor. You could see the flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and, so we're gonna do 1 big thick layer. Okay, so we have our refried beans going in. So right now we're doing our bean layer. We are using the black soybeans because they are the lowest in carb you can find. But if you're not worried about that, then of course you're gonna use your beans of choice, okay? I just want everyone to know that if you are looking for like a keto-friendly version, then you would definitely want to find the black soybeans. Now moving on to our guac layer. So, now we're gonna top our guac with the pico. So this pico is mild, but of course, if you want like all the heat, then just add a little bit more jalapeno or serrano, even habanero. So it's really just up to you what spice level you want to take it to. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our sour cream layer. I'm obviously using a dairy-free sour cream. This is an almond-based sour cream, and I actually really like it. I cannot taste the difference. Like when you're like this, like in a situation like this where you're actually, you have like a lot of different flavors and ingredients, I could never tell. Like when I make tacos or anything like this. So don't be afraid to give it a try if you are having like, some of us have like a dairy intolerance and we just don't want to give up our favorite food. So you put up with like the gastric distress, TMI, but you just put up with a lot of things that you don't have to because there are definitely alternatives out there for you. Okay, and we're gonna top it with some fresh lettuce. This is also gonna add like that crunchy component. And we have our dairy-free cheese. So this is a cheddar cheese. Seriously, they've come a long way. I tried dairy-free cheese, I think like 5 years ago. I literally this was not a good experience. And now you can literally taste it by itself and you're like, wow, like I could really actually do this. And we're gonna finish it off with a little cilantro just to give it some color on top. You can also use olives or pickled jalapenos. Like at this point, it's it is completely up to you what you wanna top it with or nothing at all. So, okay, our dip looks absolutely beautiful. The layers are well defined. Now I'm gonna go ahead and serve. Look at that, it's perfect. Do you see that? Wow. All right, guys, this is the perfect bite. A little bit of everything. Well, the craziest thing about this dip, it does not taste dairy-free. So, the textures work so well together. So much flavor. I definitely recommend if you're gonna make this dip, do not leave out the taco seasoning from the meat. It really just brings out so much flavor. Every single layer I feel like is super crucial in this. If you're not dairy-free, then obviously just use regular ingredients. But I'm telling you, this is one of those dips that if you take it to a party, it's gonna be gone in like 5 minutes. All right, guys, so I cannot wait for you guys to try this recipe. When you make this, make sure you come back, comment down below, and let me know if you were able to tell if it was dairy-free or not. I'm gonna leave the recipe in the description below. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to share not only this recipe, but the channel with your friends and family. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I love you and I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.